On Saturday, August 3rd, on the undercard of Crawford versus Madrimov, Andy Ruiz Jr. will be taking on Jarrell Big Baby Miller in what I call the Battle of the Bigs. Two big men with two big purposes trying to find their way at the end of the day. Let's talk about this big matchup. The Riyadh season card that is taking place Saturday, August 3rd, that the main feature will be Terrence Bud Crawford taking on Israel Madrimov for Madrimov's WBA junior middleweight title. It's going to have stacked events leading up to the main, but one fight that is on the undercard that really might please the crowd will be when Andy Ruiz Jr. makes his return to the ring after almost 2 years away, when he takes on Jarrell Big Baby Miller. Now Miller, we know that he has had some difficulties in his career. So has Andy Ruiz. Both men with issues outside of the ring, but now are both determined and set to set things correct inside the ring. And so both men are coming in. Ruiz Jr. with his record of 35-2 with 22 KOs, and Miller, who's bringing his record of 26 wins, 1 loss, 1 draw, and 22 KOs. As they come in to face one another, what we're going to see is possibly, potentially, a battle of the bigs that no one's expecting. I've seen men like this go at it before. Just knowing the history of the sport, you can see men who have been relegated to come in and show what they have in order to take that next step to get back into contention. They may have fallen off the tracks and now have come to a place. They're in the middle age of a boxing career, Ruiz being 34 years of age, Miller being 36. So it's time to really make that move and see what they can get done before the career passes them by. Now, when we talk about Miller, he's a fighter, again, had problems outside of the ring and had always been coming in at a real girthy 300 plus pounds. He's been noted for his hand speed and in the past his stamina. But we found out that he had some situation when he popped dirty for performance enhancing drugs. If that parlayed into his having those qualities that were assets at the time, we're going to find out, because in his last fight, which was December 2023, he lost with TKO stoppage in the late rounds to Danny Dubois. Now when we talk about Ruiz, he has had his own issues, but his last fight ended in a unanimous decision victory over Luis King Kong Ortiz, a fight when he had Ortiz in trouble and had him down. But the thing is, Andy, who has had issues with focus and staying on track, The 2 knockdowns that he had against King Kong weren't enough to convince people that Andy is the same guy that defeated Anthony Joshua. But he feels that he's back. He's gotten himself in much better condition. He seemingly has had some things put behind him as far as what he was dealing with outside the ring. And he's even speaking on the fact that if he can get things turned around, he would like to see Joshua for a 3rd time. Now, when it comes to Big Baby, we have to really think, is this man committed or should he be committed? When we're looking at Big Baby, he has had some opportunities and he squandered them. Sometimes like that bad cousin who you just say can't get it right. But I believe that this fight is going to bring something out of him because Andy Ruiz is not a chump. Andy Ruiz is a tough fighter, but he has a problem with focus. He has a problem with certain types of discipline. And if both men have committed themselves to be the best that they can be on this undercard, the Riyadh season opportunity with Turki Al-Sheikh putting together the best fights that can be made in boxing today, there is an opportunity for redemption for either man or both, contingent upon the performance that they can put in against one another. Ruiz has shown a sturdy chin. Even when he was dropped against Joshua in their first fight, he got up and he finished Joshua. In the rematch, Joshua played keep away, didn't mix it up with him, didn't stay in close or anything, but boxed at distance. But even against King Kong, he showed a rock solid chin, and he showed a determination to be victorious. His fight against Prince Charles Martin, it showed that, his fight against Chris Arreola showed him to be a fighter that was ready to compete from bell to bell. Arreola dropped him, but he was able to get up and go back and take care of that fight. So this is like a fringe contender type circumstance between 2 men who have squandered the opportunities that were placed before them, but now can be motivated by what is still dangling ahead. At the end of the day, when I look at it, I see that Andy Ruiz may be able to catch Jarrell Miller slipping, because Andy punches a lot harder than people believe, looking at him from a physical standpoint. And as my favorite fighter Evander Holyfield remarked about him, he has very fast hands. And fast hands in the heavyweight division for a guy who can throw punches and combinations can put a fighter in trouble, especially a fighter who has had trouble focusing or remaining focused through a duration of a fight. So I see this as a competitive match, and the winner will prevail because they have something a little extra under the hood, and they have brought that on that night with them in the ring. This fight is the real flip of the coin fight on this card, I believe. And even though one guy could win easily and the other lose badly, it could go either way for either guy. So the way I'm seeing it, it's a coin toss, and I just want to sit down and enjoy it. I think it's going to be action-packed. But what do you think? This is Stormy B-Man. Shout out to the mighty LDBC. Peace to everyone out there, and everyone please remain safe.